Oops. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Read This Way.
Read this way.
Oh, what? Everything's buggering up on me now. Oh, I don't know what happened there.
It's not an episode of Read This Way without something going wrong, is it?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm good at this.
Yes, welcome to Read This Way, a manga and anime podcast.
Episode 13.
What?
Ooh.
It's a shame we're not on a Friday, I guess.
I know. Yeah. I love the number 13. I don't know why it gets so much hate.
It's because it's an odd number. You know how so many people hate odd numbers.
God, I hate you right
You're one of them. I just ruined the number 13 for you, haven't I?
No, it was just the dad joke. Because I wasn't sure. Wait, right. Were you just talking that it was like odd because it's an odd number, or odd as in like it's weird because it's odd? That kind
of. No, like it's mathematically an odd number.
Oh, okay. See, I thought you were just doing a pun. But anyway, I digress. Welcome back to
you read too deep into that.
I dad joked myself.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Yes, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Read This Way,
where we instantly go into a tangent.
Yes, that's right. Tangents are great.
So we have some big things going on in the last couple of weeks. Like, holy hell,
everywhere.
Things getting cancelled, things being started, things going on hiatus. Things getting anime announcements. It's just been insane. What do you want to get off with?
Let's get the bad news out of the way.
All right. So our baby that we both were really enjoying, Aishimon, has been cancelled. I admittedly, when the chapter dropped that had our main protagonist as a mangaka, I started getting real nervous, but I was like, nah, surely not. It's too good. But no, I was right to get nervous. It ended
I called this
last week, and I'm sad.
Yes.
Again,
it didn't even. It was so abrupt.
I mean,
it was so abrupt. The way it ended.
As soon as he transformed into Dopo, we should have known that was a big red flag.
Yeah.
Because it was the way to combat the big bad while also keeping it narratively making sense without them confronting said big bad. And I liked the way they did it. I'm still gutted that it got canned so early. And this brings up a really good point. Why don't they move these failed manga to Jump Plus and give them a little bit more breathing room to see if they can substantially grow their fan base?
Yeah, it doesn't actually make a lot of sense to can a title like Aishimon. I think shifting it to Plus would have been a much smarter move. And I think
it's the same with like Samurai 8. Like, I didn't read Samurai 8 much, but it comes from like pedigree of like a mangaka that's already had a successful series. Why would you shoot yourself in the foot when you know that they can perform?
And you know they're going to come through in the end. And people are going to support them. They're fans of they're fans of the mangaka more so than they are fans of the series.
Yeah.
And
especially when they're recurring mangaka that are coming back.
Yeah, well, they're popular. You know, these Yuji is a popular amongst not just fans but other mangaka as well. He seems to be a pretty well liked fellow, and it seems like I personally feel like the pressure of shonen got to him. I reckon the
Yep.
pressure of Jump got to him, and they were just pushing for something that he wasn't angling for.
Actually, that's a very good point. Because Hell's Paradise was Jump Plus. So this was technically his first serialized physical manga.
Yeah, that's right. And I guess they were looking to hope to cash in on that same younger generation like Fujimoto, who just sort of transitioned across to the standard Jump magazine.
Like, the thing that doesn't make sense to me, like, if you have a mangaka that literally succeeded on Jump Plus and it's not hitting your goal points in the magazine, why wouldn't you just move them back?
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And look, to be honest, I hope they do. I hope they just shift him back to Plus and just let him go, because I still, from the get-go, as much as I loved Aishimon, it still felt like from the get-go it was tied to something. Like it was tied down to some sort of perspective or view, or some ideal that they were trying to get across, or so someone higher up. It just felt like it was being meddled with on some level, and I don't know. I feel like it could have had a lot more ferocity behind it. I almost think he dulled it back, pulled back the concept just to get it released in Standard Jump, which is a shame, because it would have been a rip snorter title on Plus, and just letting it go without the reins. So I think it's a big hit, to the fans, and there's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of fans, and there's a lot of people that are like, man, it wasn't neither here nor there.
From what I could gather from my little bit of internet sleuthing, it was much more popular in the West than it was in the East, which is odd. But I guess it's because the yokai and all of the mythos and stuff is still very new for us, whereas it's probably very second nature, and it's their
Old
folklore.
hat.
It's that potentially. But I mean, even on the comment section on Manga Plus, it was a very mixed bag of people celebrating it being cancelled, which I just think is toxic, and people being absolutely destroyed like we were. I'm starting to get a little bit numb to the cancellations, but I have a little bit of I have a segue of what we're going to talk about next. So I will keep that until we finish talking about Aishimon. But yeah, I don't know. It hurts. It does.
I think so. The yokai angle, yes, understandable. That's why it is popular in the West. But I also think it was the main character was not a standard high school kid main character. He didn't have the Japanese tropes behind him that a lot of the main characters do in Shonen Jump titles. He was almost a homeless kid, right? That's what I took away
essentially
from a lot of it.
He had an abusive father who wasn't dead, because usually they're dead. And he was. We didn't really get a lot of his background. Like, we got a bit, but not a huge amount. And I mean,
I feel like he was holding that. He was holding on to that to lay it out later when the time was right to go, hey, he is maybe the descendant of this person and that person, and all that sort of jargon that they normally do in a Shonen Jump title early on.
Like, we got 25 chapters. Like, how is that enough?
So much happened in those 25 chapters, though. There's a lot of content in there. So it's sad. It's very sad.
It is.
And I hope he bounces back, because his Twitter is not sounding all that fantastic in his mental response to this. He's taken a bit of a hard hit, I think. And we may not hear from him for a little while yet. But I hope to God that he does, because
I really hope, yeah.
he's an absolute monster of a storyteller.
God tier art. Like, oh my God.
He's fascinating, his artwork,
So
because
pretty.
it's both rough as hell and easy on the eyes, like smooth. It's a weird thing to say, because you don't normally marry, high detail and rough art together. They're usually
Well, I mean,
sort of,
that's kind of like, I think what he may have took away from working with Fujimoto, because Fire
yeah,
Punch and Chainsaw Man are very similar as well. Like,
yeah.
as much as I love them, like the actual art itself, it's nothing really super special in,
No, it's rough as
like,
guts. It really is. A
yeah.
lot of the time,
I
it's
mean,
really rough.
don't get me wrong, there's some really amazing like spreads that we get, and
Mm.
there'll be some amazing background art, and the paneling and not the, well, yeah, the choreography, but the uh I would say that the artwork is probably, like, itself is the weakest part of
Yeah,
Chainsaw Man and even Fire Punch.
yeah. And look, Fujimoto's a cinematic guy. He's going for
Yeah, that's probably
the
more
visual concept of everything that's in that panel, not just the characters
because
here, because
he's a movie director at the end of the day.
he's a movie director. Look, I think that's where we both think that's where he's going to end up, and I hope he does. Actually, I really do. I hope he directs a few episodes of
I
Chainsaw Man.
hope he has a lot of involvement on Chainsaw Man.
And I hope he successfully shifts across to a more cinematic environment.
I can not wish for a Fire Punch anime any more than, like, I
just
wish
to
to
break
wake
my
up in the
heart
morning.
again.
Like, oh, and could you imagine? Like, it's so meta.
If they do a Fire Punch animation, 3 films. If they,
Yeah.
I don't think I couldn't see it broken up into seasons of a TV show, because it just, I don't think it would
I mean,
capture the you can,
yeah.
but to spread it out so much, because I feel as though when I read it, I powered through that thing so quick that it smashed me in the face. And if you were to spread that across, months and years, it
Yeah.
wouldn't have the same impact.
But you'd have the same problem with movies too.
Not if they
Having
just
the
made
3
it back to
movies.
back.
And just release the 3 movies.
Just make 9 hours of cinema and then release 3 movies.
I mean, that's
just make a
arguably the
9-hour movie.
same. That's
Just make
arguably
a
the same
9-hour movie.
as doing like 3
Come on.
seasons, though.
Well, Netflix and Amazon, everybody are doing it now. They're making a movie and then they're breaking it into 6 episodes. It's what they're doing now.
I mean, they did that with was it Burn the Witch? Crunchyroll broke that movie up into 3 episodes.
Well, they probably should, because that thing is super short.
Yeah, but it was released as like an OVA movie thing, wasn't it? I still haven't gotten around to watching it or reading it. I'm horrible.
It's a series. It's a mini series, so it's not an OVA.
There was only 3. I think the way they released it on Crunchyroll was 3 episodes, but I remember seeing it as one solid thing when it came out.
When it came out, there was a one shot, and then he did a limited series.
I'm talking like the animation, not the manga.
Ah, okay.
Do you think I was talking about the manga?
Animation.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't watched it or read it, but yeah,
it
was weird. Anyway, digressing.
Segue. Segue is across.
So I have a slight problem when it comes to the cancellation of things, and the issue is, and I see it a lot across the board with other people, is being apprehensive or immediately dismissive of a new series because it's taken the spot of something that you were enjoying. I only got around to reading Aliens Area. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Yep.
I only got around to reading it like 2 hours ago because I wanted to read it because you told me about it and you said it was good.
Yeah. I said it was interesting. It's interesting.
I feel silly for sleeping on it. I know it's only been a couple of days since it's came out, but it's the only thing that I hadn't actually read in Jump's main library. And that was because I was salty that Aishimon got cancelled and Aliens Area came in. So I realized that today that very well could have been the same thing that happened to Aishimon. Admittedly, looking back on it, Red Hood did kind of hit a really big snag after that first little arc, like when they left the village. It kind of hit a bit of a snag there, and I don't think it recovered from it. But
no,
even that Phantom Seer, I wonder how much of these early cancellation series don't really get the chance that they need because people really liked what was in the spot beforehand.
Yes, I kind of understand that. There's nothing more infuriating than
it is a very petty human reaction, but
yeah, and it's not their fault, it's not our fault, it's just a perspective of what we see. And when I have something like Aishaman, which is a great title that's doing amazing things, now if it was replaced with a cheesy comedy, man, if they'd replaced it with Smartphone, I just would have gone, no, you guys are just mental, right? But I think they may have made the right choice. I feel like he was getting lost in the Jump platform.
Yeah.
Even if they were to take that universe and then just put it over to Plus, that'd be fine. I don't understand why they've just fully canceled. It's just and it does. It infuriates you, and then you take it out on the next guy who's just trying to make it,
which is unfair. It is very unfair.
Which let's segue across to that because Aliens Area.
Yeah, Aliens Area.
It's got an S. Is an interesting concept. Yeah, it's an interesting concept, but I'm
sorry, but I actually am hooked.
Are you? I'm feeling a hint of repetition here.
I am very interested. There was a lot of mystery. Yes,
it's the first issue. Of course, there's mystery.
I know. Yeah, of course. I don't know. There's something about it that it has struck a bit of a chord, and I'm digging it. I like the fact that they have this very responsible high school student that is essentially planning to throw away his own future to support his orphaned brother and sister. It's not really something that we see a lot. We see a lot of the orphan children and then they go off and have a big adventure, but he has an instant motivation to have basically get into the workforce as soon as possible so that his brother and sister so they can live happily together and so that they can have a potential future because his parents are dead.
Which is terrible.
Also, I just really like sci-fi alien stuff and the whole aliens experimenting, and it feels kind of Men in Black-ish, and I'm kind of here for it.
It feels like a blending of Men in Black and Dig Rayman.
See, I was gonna say Fire Force, and the only reason I said
Mm.
that is because of the whole fire, like the house burning down, the parents being killed potentially in said fire, um, and there
Yeah.
being like a bit of a weird, potentially stigma on the main character. I don't know. It Fire Force is more prevalent in my mind than
Dig
did you say
Rayman,
D
yeah.
Grayman? Yeah. Which is
Yeah.
weird because I've been reading D Grayman recently. But that's
Yeah,
the more
I got,
recent
yeah.
chapters.
I think visually is what I'm thinking more so than actual storyline.
Yeah.
Visually, it's not as clean as Dig Rayman. Don't get me wrong there, but it's got, I don't know,
I
a
really
visual
like the
style
character,
in.
like the design of the characters. Oh, oh,
Interesting.
like I really like the detective's design. He looks cool.
Yeah, yeah. There's no doubt about that. It's going to be interesting. I'm not invested yet, but
Yeah.
and I want to see a
It-
bit more unfold. If it just delves straight into, essentially what Duran is doing, I
yeah.
don't know how interested I'm going to be. Because
Yeah.
you jump straight from Jujutsu to Duran, and then if this is going to do the same thing,
Wait, Duran? Oh, do you mean Duroneron?
yeah, yeah, sorry, Duran.
Duron.
Yeah, yeah, too many
Dude, if it does the same thing as Duran,
yes, that would be
and
exciting.
becomes hungry like the wolf.
Hungry like the wolf.
Um,
Let's be. Let's be that.
I'm here for what the potential power system looks like, um, and the alien interactions and
Alien
how the
technology.
the brother and sister are going to fit into it. And apart from like Sakamoto, this feels like a middle ground between focusing on a child protagonist and a adult protagonist, because he's basically the father for his brother and sister now. So he has
Yeah,
that
because we're
Sakamoto responsibilities, but he's still in high school.
only just. So we're talking 18.
Yep, potentially
Yeah,
going to college. Well,
that's
sorry,
not going to
not
happen.
going to college. So
Not going to college.
yeah, he must be around that 18 mark. But I also got some
Yeah.
like major One Piece vibes with the big stretchy arm. So I'm all for that like
Yes.
goofiness as well. So
I actually really like the paneling in that moment. That action with the stretchy arm. He paced that real well.
yeah.
That felt good. That felt good. So
Um
that's a lot of promise right there. If the action maintains that sort of pacing and direction, I guess I'm on
honestly
board
like
for it because I'm a sucker
it
for
was a
action.
lot. There was a lot in this chapter that had that very fluid pacing between the panels.
Hmm.
I noticed it took its time.
Yeah, there was no rush. There was no jarring switching between, environments. There was no
Hmm.
forceful push. The read was natural. It felt natural.
My
So
my favorite bit that really stood out to me was when a little bit after that first punch, where the detective is fighting the other
oh,
alien, and he
completely owns the
dodges
alien.
down, and then he twists the cane and grabs it, and then like, oh man, it was so fluid and it was so looked so cool. And like the next
Yeah,
panel, you flick the page, and then he's like bent him backwards with the cane over his neck. It was so good. That was pretty much where I was like, all right, I'm okay
okay.
with this. Still salty, but
Yeah, yeah.
and there's a
That's
lot of room to play with like the sci-fi alien tech as well. Like
yeah,
the benefit to doing anything with like your sci-fi genre is you have limitless
yeah.
potential when it comes to what sort of abilities you want your tech to be able to do.
As we've seen with Dandadan, there's no limits to this.
There is no limits.
And it's great. It's great to see the mangaka starting to really stretch out now. I feel like there's a big push for unique stories at the moment, and they're looking for that next unusual hit. And I think Dandadan's probably one of the ones that really have driven that home recently.
Yes. That was actually something that I was about to bring up, is that there's not a lot of aliens in Shonen Jump, and there hasn't been for a while. Dandadan, I think, has kind of reinvigorated the genre in Jump as a whole, including Plus.
Yeah.
And I was worried that it was going to be a bit samey as Dandadan, but so far,
no, it looks like they're going to steer, because the mangaka's quite young.
I didn't look any into it, to be completely honest,
because they've only really just done one shot before this, and I should double check that. I should you check it out for me while I'm talking. And I'm very confident that they're pretty young, and I think we're going to see a little bit more dabbling from the producer level, editor level, than we normally do.
He has done 2 one-shots. So his first one-shot was back in 2015, which was called Kung Fu Master. He then had I think a serialized called Tao Tao in 2017. Oh, it looks pretty. Cool. My anime list has no information on it except that it exists.
Well, there you go. I mean, when it's released only in Japan, that's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
You're going to get very little English availability.
I'm not sure how long it ran for, but I'm going to assume it didn't run for very long. He then had 3 years later in 2020. He did have another one shot called Apollo in 2018. So there's a potential that it only ran for maybe a year max. And then had another manga called Harakiri Gomen, which looks a little bit more like a period piece. Yeah, unique historical manga that centers around samurai with blue eyes who come from the west. Big on Bushido by the looks of it, but again, it had 4 chapters.
Righto. So it's been around a bit. That actually surprises me a little bit.
I don't remember seeing this. It's saying it was in Jump Weekly, so maybe we just didn't get it translated at all.
When was it?
2020.
Did you say 20? Oh, yeah. I think we would have seen that.
Yeah.
And you being the samurai fanatic, you would have picked that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the art looks pretty nice. But yeah, it looks like those like Apollo and Harakiri Gomen were the standouts of his work prior to this, but even then they didn't really get a lot of
attention. Yeah.
It's really odd.
Well, hopefully, fingers crossed, this is the title for him, and he really breaks open and finds his stride. Because I'd love to see another ongoing manga series that I can read weekly without worrying that it's going to be.
And that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like we can't even really get comfortable around that 25 mark.
No,
it's just like a niggling voice in the back of the head.
I think 17 is the sweet spot. If they're consistently popular at 17,
Yeah.
they're going to stick around. I think, as always, thanks, Paul. And I think that, once they break that popularity at that point, they're pretty good and set. I think Ayashimon was wavering at that point. And I think I even said, because at 17, they would have been at the biker battle, wouldn't they? At 17.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was I thought it was a great sequence.
Give me a sec. I'll have a quick look. But I think you probably are, or maybe they'd be just wrapping up that, because he had the training montage too. And it wrapped up at
that's
25.
That's where, when they had that training montage, I said to you, I'm really not sure about this. Yeah. When they're dropping that exposition like that,
you're like, wait, giving him a power up.
Yeah. How do we make this more popular? Give him more powers. Is what it felt like, and it felt so rushed.
Yeah,
it really.
Because up to that point, he punch. That's pretty much. He was basically One Punch Man, but not really.
He's One Punch Man who got the crap kicked out of him all the time.
Yeah. I'm just really sad about it. I'm so depressed.
I know. I'm going to
every single time
referencing back to it.
It's like a kick in the nuts every single time.
I know, because you just start to fall in love with the characters and the ideas and the universe, and then they're just like, no, you don't get that.
Yep.
You don't get that.
Well, we're just going to rip the rug out from underneath you. And just checking. 17 is exactly where the biker gang chapter arc finishes up.
There you go.
And where they started to introduce the Tanuki side of things and the training montage in chapter 18.
Yeah. It's a real shame, because I love the concept of a hotel being made out of a ball sack. Just the whole thing. And it was just
not just a hotel, but everything. Everything's a nut sack.
The chairs, the mirrors, everything, the whole thing. And I think that's the kind of thing that would have shone so brightly over in Plus, but has clearly fallen flat on the regular readers. And they just don't get it. And I'm starting to think the crowd is a lot younger than we anticipated for Shonen Jump. Yeah, I know, it's great. Because you get to see him in that last chapter, and he walks out and he's wearing a towel around his waist. He's like, why is he wearing a towel? There's 3 or 4 panels where he's in the background going, what's the towel hiding?
Yeah. I mean, I am noticing some very strong finishes for these cancellations. Like Phantom Seer had a strong finish, but it also left it open to potentially be picked up by another publisher or maybe move to Jump Plus. I know I'm still holding my breath because it's been canceled for like 6 months already. I really like Phantom Seer, okay?
That's he was. Didn't they have that list come up of the who you'd want to see return from a cancelled series? And he was actually voted quite high.
Really? I didn't see this.
Yeah. Didn't you use? I swear you sent it to me. Maybe. I saw it online somewhere. I don't know. Man, you and me scroll through so much stuff.
with like the ADD brain, it's just like.
Yeah. I may have sent that.
It's very possible. I send you a lot of stuff though, so
yeah. That's fine.
What was the not that either of us I think really read it, but there was another cancellation in Jump as well. Protect Me Shugomaru got canceled.
Yeah, we were.
I think this
we were
was
really
its last
unsure
chapter?
about that. Really unsure about that when it rolled out.
I never picked it up, and I kind of feel bad, but I don't know why I didn't. I think maybe because I already had a bunch of other stuff on my plate.
Yeah. I didn't even read the first issue. You're right. I probably should have at least read the first issue. And I normally do. You know, I've given so many other mangas a shot and just read that first one just to see, or attempt to read that first one. I reckon I got about 7 pages into that smartphone one, and you know,
We'll talk
I
about that
might
in a
have liked
second.
it. Yeah, I might have very well liked it, just to be disappointed again that it got canned. So
yeah, exactly. We missed out on that potential disappointment.
yes, that's right. I feel, and that's what it's starting to feel like now. Like, you know, oh, you know what? I'm just going to sit on it for 24 issues and see how it goes.
You know
And
what it
if people
feels like?
start behaving like that, though,
It feels like dating.
oh no.
Like, I never really did the dating scene. I was very lucky into kind of falling into relationships, but it feels like what I imagine dating to be, where you might just be hitting it off with someone, and then they say something really racist or something, and you're like, ugh.
Wait a minute. You're a Nazi?
Mm.
But you're such a nice person. Yeah,
Please don't get us
it
cancelled,
was one of
Logan.
those ones. Sorry. It was one of those ones that I just didn't pick up because it looked like a comedy. And
Yeah.
you know, I don't mind comedies if they're short. I don't like long running comedies. They just don't, you know, the joke only just
Yeah.
lasts for so long for me. And
Yeah, I agree. Gag manga, it has to have a bit more to it for me to latch onto.
yeah,
I think that was the same with what was the was it Hard Boiled Dolphin Cop or something wacky
I
like
never
that?
read it. Yeah,
What was
I
it
know the one you're
called?
talking about. Hard
Yeah,
boiled cop
it got
dolphin.
cancelled.
Yeah,
Yeah, it got cancelled too. But I tried. I got maybe like 10 chapters into it, maybe. Like I really tried.
yeah.
Nothing really. I need that mystery. I need a little bit of action. Give me something, even if it's just
Yeah.
character drama.
You know, I picked
And
up
it,
Mashal when it first started,
yeah.
and I stuck with
Well,
it
actually,
for
that is
about the
another one that
10, yeah,
I
about
kind
10
of
issues.
didn't. I
But
wouldn't
it
mind
just,
going back to Mashal, but
yeah.
I got about 23 into it. I don't know why I dropped it, to be honest. I think
Well, you probably
at the
didn't. You probably just
time,
forgot to read it.
yeah, and
You
then
know,
it
there's
just
so much going
fell to the
on.
wayside. Um, the same with Witch Watch. Actually, I would like to get back into Witch Watch.
I do need
Um,
to go back to that because that I reckon I only read 3 or 4 issues of that, and I was
it
actually
was
really
fun.
enjoying it. And I don't understand why I put
Um,
it down, to be honest.
I
It's
think
one of those
at the
things.
moment I would classify it as a bit of a harem manga.
Oh,
But like a
dang.
soft harem, but a soft
Yeah.
harem because it's very clear that
Is there such a
the
thing?
well, it has the formula of a harem, but the main character is completely disinterested in, like, I guess romance, but the
Yeah.
support, like the witch, she is in love with the main protag, but then there's other people around that are kind of in love with her, so it's kind of got that
Ah,
harem
so like
vibe, but
it's got the reverse harem business going on.
it's got like the harem cast set up, but it's kind of clear that it's the two, the ogre and the witch, are gonna be the ones that get together. It's kind of like
Yeah.
I guess Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches, except it was more harem than
Yeah.
what this is, but it was very clear from the beginning who the girl was that he was going to end up with, but due to how the series was, it was set up very harem-y.
Just to, you
Yeah.
know, maintain popularity, I guess. There's a
Yeah,
market
oh,
for it.
who's the girl that he's gonna actually go with? But it's very obvious who it
Mm,
is.
yeah. Yeah. Uh, oh well.
Yeah.
Where are we
Um.
segueing from here? I think we
Oh,
painted ourselves into a corner with a harem.
no, okay, I want to briefly talk about Akane Banashi. Only because
Okay.
of the
Okay.
this one thing that I did send to you that I think is really cool. So Akane Banashi is getting a voiced comic. I don't know how this is going to work.
Yeah.
Now, what they're doing, they're getting actual Rakugokas to come in and voice that are also voice actors. So, the Japanese voice actor for Usopp in One Piece is a professional Rakugoka, and his daughter, her name's Akane.
Oh, what?
She's also a Rakugoka, and she's going to be playing Akane, and her dad is playing her dad.
That is
And
so sweet.
I am so for this, and I'm just blown away, and I'm so for this. I'm so excited to see this, and it's so bizarre.
It's amazing, and Oda's been,
Oda's been pushing
bananas.
Huge.
Yeah, so when this thing's not getting cancelled anytime soon.
I really hope not. I'm so nervous.
Not with Oda going, hey, you should read this. Then you've got millions of people now reading it.
And Jump is pushing it hard. Like they have been pushing it harder than most new titles, and it's odd for something so niche. Well, niche in the West. I don't know how big Rakugo is in Japan. Like, I would assume it's still pretty big. There's not a lot of like manga or anime that actually does talk about it. I did find another anime centered around it on Crunchyroll recently. I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's fascinating, and I'm getting nervous because she's about to confront the guy who expelled her dad.
Yeah, but this is. I think this is,
and they're edging to that 20. It's a chapter 16. They're bringing the. I'm getting nervous again.
No, this is the precursor. So what we're experiencing right now is the prologue.
Yeah,
that's what I believe, and the main meat of their learning and their travel is going to happen after this event. So I just feel like we've just got the setup. Yeah, we just
this will be
because you've got to have a goal, man. You got to have a goal every time. So
this will be setting up the rest of the story, but it's hard not to get nervous, man. Like
I know.
We've had so many cancellations back to back.
I think this has been quite a popular title. I haven't seen anybody say anything bad about it.
Yeah.
Online. So I would say that it's going to stick around. It's going to stick around. I got a sense. That's yeah. The art's too nice. The story and the characters are too interesting, and the idea is so different to everything else out there. I just don't. I can't see why they would can it.
I like how much they were pushing about her teacher being worried about her future as well. I thought that was very good to ground it as well, and take away like the rose-tinted glasses for Akane and potentially some of the readers, because it felt very fantastical and this girl's just following this because it was her dad's thing and he couldn't do it, sort of thing. And I really enjoy it. I love Akane, and I don't know what it is about her design, but she's just so damn cute and like so well drawn.
I don't know what it is. You're right.
There's really nothing.
It feels really generic,
special about her. Yeah, but like, I don't know. And maybe it is because
maybe it is the general design, which feels so normal.
Well, maybe it is actually the character that's helping carry that plainness, I guess. Like, the only thing that really differentiates her from, I guess, a normal looking Japanese girl is like the little ombre effect that she has at the colored tips. and she's like massively into Rakugo. But and for people who don't know what Rakugo is, it's basically a one-man stage play.
Yes, a
Would you
storytelling
say
professional.
Yeah. But man, I'm so nervous. I'm really excited for next week. Because it's set up an interesting problem for her to solve for something that is potentially one of the most well-known stories in Japanese storytelling in that sort of medium. Which was the other thing like that they just brought in was like the history behind the stories that they talk about.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying that little
so
part.
Cool.
Yeah, it's adding an element of education without making it feel like education.
And I think that's what I really like about it is it's edutainment, and you don't feel like you're being read a list of all the things that you're reading this story and learning almost alongside with Akane, who already has this major base, but also is kind of sheltered because she has only been focused on this one performer, which was her dad.
Yeah, that's right. Now she's been exposed to so many different ideas and stories and other things. It's actually, a great. That's why we're so attached to the character. This is why it's just great storytelling, is what's happening.
The last chapter, I think, in saying how nervous I was and am still, that last chapter that we had was so strong, and she was barely in it. If you can carry a chapter and have it so impactful and so strong without the lead, that has to like say something for the mangaka's both character writing and story writing in and of itself.
Yeah, definitely. It is clear that the writing on this title is above the vast majority of the others. In the sense of its character development and consistency. So every time they're writing, there's never a word or a sentence out of place with any of the characters. They all feel like and sound like how they should.
Which I mean is very purposeful if you think about it, because all we're learning about Rakugo is that, and how purposeful everything is. The mannerisms, the facial expressions, which again, so well drawn in this, and it has to be for that purpose. Oh, man, I think I will be like massively depressed if Akane does get canned.
No, I don't think it will for quite some time. I think maybe after a year and a half or so, if it doesn't do something horribly different, people will get bored of the concept. But
I mean, it's been doing things differently from the very beginning. Our protagonist wasn't the protagonist in the first chapter.
No, I love that. And the dad didn't die.
I know. Although we haven't really seen him since.
He's just died emotionally.
He died inside.
Yes. Because he's always working. He's a busy guy.
Yeah, actually, I suppose that is the big thing there, is that he essentially died inside and had to swallow his pride and become a businessman, and the thing that he hated the most. But speaking of things ending soon, and I use the term soon very, very loosely, the other big news that we got is that One Piece is going on a hiatus in a couple of weeks, because Oda is going to be planning the final saga arc. It's unclear exactly what the Japanese term means, but it it has been used for other things like say My Hero Academia and Black Clover that are in their final stretch. So it's not necessarily like it's the final arc, it's the final stretch of the series. And I mean, Wano, we're wrapping up now. it as an arc has been going for 4 years. So when
Yeah.
I say wrapping up soon, it could be another 5 years before One Piece is finished. But Oda's going to be taking a break to go off
Well
and
deserved.
it's a break from manga, that's it. Like,
yeah.
it's a
This is
working
true.
holiday. He's
It's not,
going to
look, sort of.
Africa. No, it's a working holiday. He's going to Africa to supervise the One Piece live action, which the more we get information for, I'm getting more hopeful and less nervous because of how much the team working on it is in love with this series. Like one of the showrunners has basically outed himself as a manga fanboy for One Piece.
Yeah.
The casting looks spot on for nearly everyone that they've released so far. Obviously with like makeup and some of the wigs and their outfits and whatnot, it's going to really nail that home. But the thing that has nailed this home for me and giving me much hope is the physical sets. They're building
Yeah.
ships.
Yes.
Like
I
and
saw that. I
they
watched
look
that video.
so
You sent me.
good.
It is. It would have baffled the hell out of me as to why they wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
The resources
But
are there. The ingenuity is there. And that's how they used to make cinema, is with physical stuff, and it looked and felt better. So you're right. I think
yeah.
that concept and that idea alone is enough to get me on board with it and probably watch as well, even though I'm not a huge fan.
I mean, I'm gonna completely rip. I think it was Mother's Basement that said it. It looks like that Netflix is treating this like it could be their Game of Thrones. And what I mean by that is the amount of money and effort they're putting behind
Yeah.
it. Like they're filming in Africa, for God's sake. Arguably where Luffy's real world equivalent hometown would be. Like, I think Luffy's meant to be Brazilian.
Oh yeah.
Which is actually South America now that I think about it. Geography is not my strong suit. I take back what I said.
Both.
God damn it.
It's South Africa. It's South Africa, right? They're close.
Oh man. Just out myself as not knowing where anything is in the world.
You know where it is.
Yeah, well, eventually. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm getting more excited than nervous the more that they are announcing.
Well, they're announcing more, which
yeah.
means they're confident that
Yes.
they're onto something. They're
And
confident enough to show people.
Having Oda stop his work to go to Africa to help supervise the filming, that in and of itself is a bit of a green flag there.
Yeah. Could you? I mean, honestly, do you think the fans would accept it if he hadn't?
Yeah, true.
If he didn't oversee some part of it, I think they would have gone, no, this is a write-off.
I think the thing that's making me a bit nervous is how the hell they're going to cram East Blue into, I think it's 8 episodes.
Well, they probably won't.
No. East Blue is going to be the first season.
Unless each episode runs for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Let's just do 8 movies.
I mean, yeah, that's possible. They could hit the major beats. There will be a lot hitting the cutting room floor, but I mean, if they do, so what you'll have at least an episode dedicated to each Straw Hat. So you'd have episode 1, I would say, being the introduction of Luffy and potentially Zoro. Then Nami,
yeah.
Nami, getting her own episode. and it's going to be interesting how they pace it out.
I have a feeling that if Netflix was smart, they would make 1 hour episodes.
Yeah.
Or
Well, I
at
mean,
least 50
usually
minutes.
that's roughly how much they do for their like this sort of a series. And I think I haven't gotten around to checking it out yet, but I think Cowboy Bebop live action was about that as well. Just gonna
So many
fact
mixed
check
reviews
myself.
on that one. So many
Yeah.
mixed. I never watched it.
No, I didn't either. But in saying that, I was more of a not cowboy people. I was more of a Samurai Champloo man than Cowboy Bebop myself.
I was both. Why be one when you
I,
can be both?
I don't mind. Like I liked Cowboy Bebop, but we established earlier that I'm the samurai boy.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, this is true. This is true.
Yeah. So it looks like about 50-minute episodes roughly. So it
Yeah.
could be roughly the same. So yeah, roughly 8 hours worth of content, which East Blue, I think is about maybe 50 episodes in anime. So like that's a
50,
lot.
yeah. And if you look at the anime, there's still a little bit of filler. There's still a little bit
There
of
is. Yep.
extension in there. So there'd be room to pull it back and
Yeah.
delve into areas. Cinema's good at, cutting the fat from a
Yeah.
story and
Also, the
really
amount of
narrowing it down.
action in manga gets compressed down when it's
Yeah.
visual. So yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's possible.
That fight that you read for 8 chapters is actually only runs for 30 seconds.
Yeah, yeah. The fighting that has been taking place in Wano for 2 years is actually only going to be like 20 episodes,
If that.
yeah. Um. So, and there's also the movie coming out that he's being I think a producer on. And he's getting super excited on that. I'm getting excited to watch it because whenever the creator gets excited for the movie,
Yeah.
that's always again a big green flag for me. There was yeah, so he's taking a whole month off for that, and he's also announced that the other reason he's taking time off to basically reorganize and formulate that last saga that we're getting for the manga.
Yeah.
Not to mention 25th year anniversary this year, so he's also got that coming up. So he's
25 years, man.
a
That's
busy
nuts.
boy. Yeah. Have you
That's
seen the golden
nuts.
statues that they've erected in his hometown of all the straw hats?
Well, yeah, it's
Like
that's
they're
amazing, man.
life-size gold statues. They are so cool.
You take a lot of pride in someone like that, I guess, as a hometown. Definitely.
Now I feel like there was something. Oh, I wanted to quickly touch on Super Smartphone because
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been keeping up with it. You dropped it 7 pages in. I have so many mixed feelings about it. It feels very scattered would be the way that I would describe it. Um, it feels like it's drastically swinging from plot point to plot point, and I don't know if it knows what sort of direction it's going in, because now it feels like it's turning into a death game, almost like Death Note Light. I think I said to you earlier in the
Yeah,
week.
you did. The kids
Where
version.
yeah, like there's some really cool concepts being toyed with the super smartphone, but there's not a lot of substance for me to sink my teeth into yet. And
Are the characters
admittedly,
drawing you in? That's the big question, is maybe that's the drawback here. They've come up with a concept, an
yeah,
idea of what they want to do, and then the characters are the second component that they've thought about.
I would say that they're probably the second or third.
Right. So that there is an
like,
indication to me.
there's
Like,
nothing really art-wise that's jumping out at me either. Admittedly, like, there was some cool art stuff going on in chapter 5. And they really focused in on what is going to be the villain, at least for the first little part of it. But yeah, I don't know. There's something that's not quite sitting with me yet. I don't know what it is, but it feels very not generic, but well, yeah, generic. I was gonna say samey, but that's basically the same thing. The art is kind of like there's nothing wrong with it. It's just kind of
boring.
passable. It's not boring, but it's just very, again, generic. Like, it's not. It's capable, but it's not blowing me away.
Yeah.
Which again is when you have things coming out like Aliens Area, which has really cool art, like a really cool style to it, and really cool pacing between its paneling and action scenes, and then you got Super Smartphone, where it's just like, meh.
Hey, it's just it's okay. It's okay. I don't know.
Possible.
I would be very surprised if it breaks the 20 mark.
Like, bring Ayashimon back. I don't want smartphones. Give me Phantom Seer again. I don't give a shit about smartphones.
Okay. Angsty, salty boy.
I really am. It happens every time.
I just want to have a quick word about next season's lineup of anime. Why is there so much? Why is there so much? There is so much content there.
Are you talking about the list that I sent you?
Yes, the list that you sent me. So the past season has been so dry for me. I've struggled to find stuff to watch. And this next season coming out, I'm just like, man, they're just throwing like 30 odd shows at me that I have to try and watch at some point. It just seems insane. And did I see Kaiju number 8 in there?
Well, okay, so the list that I'm really trying hard to find that I've sent you is there was a lot of TBAs in there, and 2023's I think releases.
Okay, that's all right then.
Oh my god, now I've got the hiccups.
I was so worried that I was gonna have no time to do anything else but watch anime.
Yeah, so I don't know how many of these have been confirmed, and I don't know how much of them are going to be in this upcoming season. So hang on.
Well, all the second seasons that are coming out, surely.
Yeah, like there's continuations with My Hero. I think Tekken Bloodlines already come out. It's on Netflix. There's a few in that list that I actually hadn't heard of before. Like there was Kengan Ashura. I had no idea what that is.
Oh, they're releasing another season of that. That was really enjoyable. Yes. It's like a pit fighting series.
Okay, so it is kind of like Baki. It looks kind of reminiscent of like that sort of like fighting sort of stuff.
Where Baki is more like legendary world fighters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whereas Kangen's
this is more Fight Club.
It's it's a lot more just pit fights and really crazy stuff. Great characters though. It's got some really cool characters in it. And the guy who gets roped in it, the salary man that gets roped into helping train this guy is just funny as hell.
I might have to pick this up.
It's just good. It's good fun. The animation is a little bit jarring sometimes because it switches between 2D and 3D quite a bit.
I mean, yeah.
And if it's done properly, it's done properly.
Like Jujutsu, they did it fantastically.
Well, It's Mappa, so
Yeah.
they do know how to do it really well.
Yeah. We'll have we'll do this try because there's a lot, so we'll do a bit of a rapid fire and have some words on things that stand out to us. Records of Ragnarok is getting a second season. Tonikaku Kawaii is getting a second season. Some of these, like I said, I've never heard of. A lot of I honestly haven't been watching as much anime as I used to because I've been reading so much manga.
Yeah,
And a lot of,
and like I said, this season was kind of dry. There wasn't a lot there.
Yeah. Don't toy with me. Miss Nagatoro is getting a second season. I enjoyed what I watched of that. That first episode though is a bit of a barrier for some because, oh boy, it was a bit rough on that bullying. But that was, I guess, her finding where that line was. And after that first episode, she very much so respected that line. And I don't know, it was kind of cute. It was, I don't know,
but not at the same time.
It was almost like step on me, mummy material, but like set in high school.
Oh, I see.
And then we, in the same sort of vein, we got Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out. Very much in that, like,
I love that
teasing.
Yeah, that's good fun though. I really enjoyed
Rent a
that
Girlfriend's getting a second season. I'm all for that because did you watch Rent a Girlfriend?
I didn't know.
Oh,
Not familiar with it.
Good. It was good. It had very good character writing.
Oh, nice.
It was quite. It was a weird concept, and the main character's a piece of shit. Like, at the end of the day,
I'm on board.
That's what it is.
I'm on board.
It's kind of, it's like one of those ones where you really don't want to project to that main character because he's kind of a prick. And the premise is basically you're watching him become a better person and work through the flaws. It's a character drama, romance comedy. I really enjoyed it, and the animation was just gorgeous. But in saying that, most of the other characters were also quite flawed. I remember there was a blonde girl that was pretty reprehensible as well. Like, she was pretty bad. Masamune-kun's Revenge is getting a second season. Mushoku Tensei is getting its second season.
Hey.
A massive fanboy for that one. Again, that's another series where the main character is reprehensible and you're watching him become a better person and work through those flaws. I'm a really big fan. Yeah, and it's not, and that's the thing, like with Mushoku Tensei, the flaws and the rough edges will be there for a while, and it's a slow process. Like when anyone's trying to work on themselves, it's a slow process. It's not going to be an immediate fix. If that happens, it doesn't feel natural, and it won't feel earned or worthwhile.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents on Mushoku Tensei. Bofuri's getting a second season. Again, not sure when these are coming out.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Bofuri. I thought it was so much fun.
I didn't watch it.
Didn't you? I did.
No, I have no idea what it's about.
If you're after something really cute and fun, it's not an isekai, but it's based in a game, and it basically follows a girl who.
Is it a cute girls doing cute things? Would you classify it as one of those sorts of animes?
Cute girls doing monstrous things. Yeah, so she starts off as this real sort of plain character, but eventually, because of the way she plays the game, she ends up being something of a monster of sorts. and
Okay.
produces some very entertaining scenarios. But
The
lots of
Saga
good,
of
fun
Time.
characters.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, no, go for it. Go for it.
The Saga of Tanya the Evil is coming back for a second season as well.
You see, I've heard good things about that, but I never actually got around
So have
to
I.
watching it.
Yeah, I believe it's an isekai. Is that? I think.
Oh, is it?
I think
Oh,
so.
maybe it is. Maybe it is. I'll give it a whirl. I'll give it a whirl this week. And,
again, could be wrong.
You know.
Misfit of Demon Academy or Demon King Academy is getting a second season as well.
Not
I don't know if you
with
saw it. It was dumb, but like in a good
Okay.
way.
Yeah.
The guy kills. Okay, it is super edgy. Like you think Sword Art Online, with like its overpowered protagonist. This is on crack. The main the main character is a reincarnated demon king that was born like 8 days prior and is enrolled in high school because he ages himself up, and then kills a dude with his own heartbeat. Like it's just really over the top dumb fun. I really need to go back and finish it. It was so stupid, but in a good way. To Your Eternity's getting a second season, which I really need to watch the first one. Apparently, it's very depression inducing, but in a good way.
Yay!
Yeah,
one of those. I want to feel those bad feels.
Like, you know, the episode of The Simpsons where Bart is in love with the babysitter, and she just tears his heart out and says you don't need this and throws it at the wall. That's basically To Your Eternity, from what I've heard.
Right.
Goblin Slayer is coming back for a second season. Right.
That's not too surprising. It was quite popular.
Didn't it get? I suppose it did have a lot of controversy around it, but it was pretty popular. Yeah.
The controversy was semi-warranted because the manga had a lot more of the controversy than the anime did.
Okay.
So yeah, they cut it right back in the anime. It was still there, but not anywhere as bad.
Not to the level.
Yeah.
Hanma Baki, Son of Ogre, is coming for a second season.
Love it. I can't get enough of that show. Honestly, it is just pure unadulterated action punishment. It is just insane.
The next one is I'm really excited to just talk about. Are we done with whatever the last one was?
Yeah, sorry. Oh, Jesus.
The Devil is a Part-Timer is coming back. The Devil is a Part-Timer is coming back for season 2. Like, it's been
like
nearly
talking about this for 2 years.
It's like 12 years since it aired season 1. Oh man, it is so good. I loved season 1. It was so it was reverse isekai essentially.
Yeah, and it's just the characters carried it so well. It
and
kind of
like
now going back, it actually reminds me a lot of Dragon Maid as well, and it just has that similar vibe.
Yeah, I get what you're saying
about it.
Well, it was also kind of weirdly breaking isekai tropes before the big isekai boom.
Yeah,
which was odd in hindsight.
But it's gonna be great. It can't not be great. There's too much stake involved.
Yeah, and I mean, for it to come back, like, what was it, like 10 years easily? Maybe
I reckon.
I don't know. I don't have enough. I don't care enough to look, but
the anime's held up well though.
Yeah. For them to bring it back though, so long after the fact, it has to be a passion there somewhere. So I'm very hopeful for that.
Very fan driven.
So excited, man. So excited. But yeah, you're right. They have been talking about it for like 2 years. Made in Abyss is coming back for its second season. Very excited to see that come back.
Still haven't watched the first season.
Oh man, you will love it.
I know. I've had a
I
lot of
remember
people tell me.
seeing some like a comparison, like quip description was animated by Studio Ghibli, written by Junji Ito.
Yes.
I was like, yeah, that's kind of accurate. Like
Sounds
it looks
about
so
right.
pretty and cute, but my god, is it not?
Yeah.
Do not be fooled.
I don't know. Personally, I believe Junji Ito is more of a fantasy writer than a horror. I never find his stuff like scary.
Yeah, I mean,
But that's a mentality.
yeah.
My daughter
I
found it
mean,
rather scary, but
it's unsettling more than scary, is what I would say.
yeah. But where I love it, I love that stuff.
Yeah.
You can drown me in it, and I'm good.
Well, speaking of seinen series, because I would definitely classify Made in Abyss as a seinen.
Yeah.
Vinland Saga is coming back, which is super cool because that means that I can actually pick it up and start watching it,
I was about
knowing
to
that
say
there's
I
more
haven't
coming.
touched it. I haven't touched
I've
it.
heard so many good things.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'll have to add it to the list.
It's like Vikings anime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I always thought it was, some sort of fantasy, but like high fantasy, almost D&D level kind of fantasy.
No, it's a like
No.
a almost like a historical piece almost.
Oh, okay.
Kind of it I would put it in the
I don't
same
know anything
category
about this
as
show.
from what I know about it, I would put it in the same classification as Golden Kamuy, but without the comedy.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry to rip that one out from underneath you. Like it takes itself very
Uh,
seriously from what I understand.
okay. Okay. I'll think about it.
I in another world with your smartphones getting a second season, I don't know.
Really?
Yeah,
That's surprising. It's a little bit surprising.
Eden Zero is getting a second season. Oh, sorry. Were you going to say more about the
Did it?
smartphone?
I was just going to say I think I got about 6 episodes in and dropped that one.
Honestly, I am very, very brutal when it comes to my isekai.
Yeah,
because there's just so goddamn much of it.
there is so much. Yeah, you're right. It is. You have to be a little bit brutal and just cut it off and move on to the next thing. Definitely.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Eden Zero. It felt like admittedly there are some very big similarities art-wise between Eden Zero and Fairy Tail. It's gonna happen.
Just a little bit. Dude, the characters are almost identical.
I know.
There's a blue cat with wings.
Okay. So something that he does do between Rave Master, Fairy Tail, and now Eden Zero is he likes to carry over certain characters. So in Fairy Tail, there was a character called Plu, which was again direct rip from Rave Master. And in Eden Zero, Happy from Fairy Tail is in Eden Zero, but they're completely different characters. They just look exactly the same and are named the same. I don't know much about the manga, but I know the anime for Eden Zero did have like a few cameos of fairy tale characters, specifically Natsu and Lucy, who are the two very like they look very, very similar. Like, what are their names? Shiki and no, it's been too long. The girl. Damn
More
it.
than 2 days.
Yeah. They look very similar. But yeah. I really enjoyed watching Eden Zero. I thought it was
add it to my list.
Better paced, better writing, better character development, which I mean is going to happen when you go from writing a serialized manga for like 300 chapters or something, and then start
Yeah.
a new serialized manga that doesn't get cancelled 15 chapters in. There has to be some improvements.
Yeah.
So the next one of the biggest sellers in manga at the moment, Tokyo Revengers, is getting a second season. Holy crap, is it selling?
I gotta
like
jump on board with that.
My god, the numbers that it's doing is insane. Like, I think Demon Slayer is still doing bonkers numbers, even though it's been ended
like
for
2
2
years
years.
ago.
Like, obviously, the anime and the movie is really helping.
Oh yeah, it's driving that home.
But like 9 million copies sold is nuts.
It is. It's insane. It's
and
exorbitant amounts of sales there, which is great. I mean, it's
fantastic.
support a
It's
series
just
that's doing well.
it's just crazy. Jujutsu's also selling hotcakes. Again, its first season of anime and its movie coming out.
Yeah.
Um
I've lost interest. Honestly.
Oh, how dare you?
I'm sorry.
I mean,
it's just it's been
it does feel a bit
fight
slow
after fight for the past year, and there's been no progression in the characters. It's just been introduce new character, have another fight. Introduce new character, have another fight. It just feels like some sort of versus environment.
There's been a lot. I do know what you're getting at, and I do agree. And I'm hoping, I think I'm just hoping and like holding out hope that there's going to be a bit more progression coming soon. But in saying that, I have faith in Akatami. Like, do you remember the Maki arc? That is
the only reason I'm currently holding on, because I feel like he can do that again. Surely enough, he can do that again.
It's almost like it feels like we're in setup.
Exceptional.
It feels like we're still in setup for the Death Games.
Dang, it's
but
too big a cast for me.
Yeah, it has been going set up for a long time now. But yeah, Tokyo Revengers, man, I'm up to date with the manga for that. It actually just dropped a huge bombshell. But I haven't actually caught up to the anime. I think I got 8 episodes into the anime while it was airing weekly, and got so impatient that I dropped the anime and started reading it, and was like, I just need more.
You're not moving quick enough.
Pretty much.
Turn the pages quicker.
Man, it's good, and it's I think it's
That's
either
right,
getting
it's so much
or
quicker.
already has a live action adaptation now.
Oh, okay. Man,
yeah, well, and speaking of, Jujutsu Kaisen's getting a second season, which I don't know. Has the movie already been released? Or are we still waiting on it?
Yeah, it hit the cinema. Remember? It hit the cinema a couple of months ago.
Did it hit cinema here? Or was it in Japan?
Yeah. No, it was here.
Oh, did I miss it? Sad.
Yeah, I missed it too. It was here, but I forgot which weekend it was on. It was
I know we definitely didn't get it in my hometown, which we don't get a lot. We get a couple, but barely anything. Classroom of the Elite's coming back for another 2 seasons. I think I started watching it, but I don't really remember too much of it. It was kind of, I think it was kind of like a gambling death game sort of thing. It felt,
we've already seen that.
Yeah. I put that in my trashy sort of pile, like King's Game. Like, it's not good, but it's junk. It's junk food. That's where. Darwin's Game.
But I don't want to think. I started watching Darwin's Game.
It's on Netflix.
That was
I had so much fun with it. Yeah,
that was really interesting. That one.
It was another death game thing that we've seen before, but I had fun with it. I thought it was fun. I would like a second season of that. I'd be easily jumping on that. Next up is Conor Superman. I am so ready for his third season of Conor Super.
I don't know.
Really?
He's well. The first season, like I absolutely adored the first season. It was just so good.
It's
There was
so
just so
funny.
much entertainment, and then the second season just pushed. I don't know.
Actually, I think there's a movie
It
that I
went a
haven't
little.
seen.
Yeah, there's a movie in the middle there, the explosion of the world or something like that, where you follow the witch's
Megami, the
backstory.
explosion.
Yeah, follow her story a bit
Yeah.
more.
I love how
I don't.
stupid the characters are, man.
Yeah, that's what has really carried it across so well. And seeing those characters full fledged in the first season, just going completely bonkers, was just fantastic and fun and new. And
You know,
I just feel
the
like they're
whole
just
plot
gonna. I don't know. They're just gonna
the whole
drain it.
plot is like to beat the Demon King, which we haven't even seen. It's just the main
No,
cast being stupid.
trying to get out of the freaking town they're stuck in is what they're doing
Love it so
because they
much,
keep
man.
owing all the money. But the joke. I don't know. The joke's just it's a joke.
Yeah.
And I don't know
It
how much
is
further
it
they can take it.
actually
As long as it just
personally
doesn't push, you know, into the harem too
personally
much.
that is what I look for in a comic gag manga is something
Hmm.
like Konosuba, where if
Yeah,
you have a good core cast, it doesn't matter what the plot is because they will carry it.
that's right. That's right. That's the importance of strong characters in comedy. You can't just throw anybody into a circumstance, expect it to, come out the other end. Um, really well.
Uh,
I think the core structure of the two main characters is what holds that together. The
I
god,
don't know,
the
man.
water god,
I
the water god, and
I
our main boy.
I okay, so this is the I haven't watched it in ages, but this is how much it's left a mark on me. I remember the core cast's name. So like honestly, Aqua's probably my lowest of the four. I love Kazuma, Darkness, and Megumi are probably my favorites.
Okay, so yeah,
Darkness was the night.
I yeah, I love Darkness. She's so much fun.
So
And so
dumb.
weird, so weird. But I
Like a
love Aqua. I
sadist,
liked her character.
I'm not saying she's bad. I'm just saying she's the weakest of the four to me. Only
To
because the
me,
other
she's
three are
probably
very
yeah.
strong.
And I think it's because she's the most grounded one out of the lot of them,
Yeah,
in a sense.
like, because she's useless.
Well, she's
I
not
mean, they're all
completely
kind of
useless,
useless
but
in that. Wow.
yeah. I love her
That's the whole gag, right? Is that
sense of greed. Is
yeah.
she wants to get back to that standpoint of goddess, and she's
I just love
constantly
the whole
looking for
concept,
that.
right?
Yeah. No, it is. It's just the fact that from that first episode, I'm
Choose
just
what.
like, I'm on board with this.
What will you choose to take with you? I can choose anything? Yes, I choose you. What? That's not allowed. Yes,
Wait
it
a minute.
is. Oh, okay. Oh man,
It was
so
great from
dumb.
the get go. So I'll
Welcome
probably
to
watch it
Demon
anyway. Don't
School.
get me wrong.
Aruma-kun is coming for a third season. I haven't touched any of them. I think you liked it, don't you? Is that the one that you like?
Rumikun?
Welcome to Demon School. No? Am I getting
Doesn't
confused
strike
with
the
another?
chord.
All right, never mind. um, Rising of the Shield Hero has been confirmed for a third season, apparently.
Doesn't
But
surprise me.
second season has been hit with mixed reception with its
Yeah,
pacing.
I can't remember if I watched it or not.
I really liked season one, but apparently
Yeah.
season two has kind of reset the stage and kind of skipped over some content from the source material, and then also skipped right to the boring part of the material from the source content. I don't know, man. Apparently, it's just a hot mess garbage fire. I hope it kind of course corrects by the end of season 2.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wait until it's all done for season 2, and then probably binge it. Hopefully, that leaves a better taste in my mouth than watching it weekly.
Maybe it has a better continuity.
Yeah,
all at
but
once.
we'll see. Beastars is getting a 3rd season, which surprises nobody.
No. Just taking their
Again,
sweet time getting it together.
which is, I mean, I know that animation takes time, but I was under the impression that 3D animation was quicker turnaround than 2D.
Considering the amount of it they use to save money, you would expect it. And look, I'm not saying that it's any easier, because it's not. I understand both platforms. I've worked in and done, both. They're both got their hits and misses in regards to how time consuming things can be. But as far as I'm concerned, 2D is more time. It's more time consuming. There's more frames. There's more things to do.
Yeah. So
there really is.
From my limited understanding, hang on, let me just get all what's the word that I'm after? It starts with P. Pretentious.
Yep.
From my understanding of a limited of an art form that I have literally no background in, is it pretty much like once they make the character models, I'm going to oversimplify this drastically, but like once they make the character models, it's all about kind of posing them in said scenes. They're not redrawing constantly.
Yeah. So imagine this. Imagine if you had the ability in 2D animation to draw a character once and color it once, and then only animate the keyframes.
Yeah, and then you've got the lighting and stuff that changes on top of the model that you've already existently made.
Yeah. So it does everything itself in that respect. So you just put the camera and the lighting in the right spot, and you let the animation roll through.
Making it sound so easy.
I know it sounds ridiculous, but the fact that with 3D you only have to key animate. You don't have to in between. The program does that for you. So, and I imagine 2D has gotten better at doing that sort of stuff and being able to in between for them to an extent. But as far as I know, the traditional is still very traditional.
I would definitely see there would be obviously some setbacks or drawbacks, I would say, to doing it completely. Sorry, pardon me, 3D as opposed to 2D, but personally, I don't know what they are.
They're just visual. It's
in saying that though, Beastars looks amazing, and I think the reason why it is a standout is because they're anthropomorphic animals. They're not human, so you dodge that uncanny valley.
The color palette in Beastars is really neutral. It's very natural, and the cell coloring that they've got in it is easy for them to process, so it looks like a more flat environment. So it tends to look better, as opposed to trying to reproduce humans and skin tone and shade and all that sort of stuff. It's a little bit harder.
Trying to find a way to show me like all of the things to make so I can see how many of these titles we've got left to cover, because we've already been running for an hour and a half.
We've overdone it.
I'll try and
just
keep it
talk.
as quick as
we
possible.
Won't say anything. Just say and just go through.
We've got Mob Psycho 100 for a 3rd season. Fire Force is coming back. Dr. Stone is coming back, surprising no one. Again, Demon Slayer. Danmachi, or is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
I lost track
I
of that a long
honestly,
time ago.
I prefer its other title, Danmachi or Familiar Myth. I think I'm up to date with it. I kind of enjoyed it. It was again kind of like junk food fantasy.
Yeah.
Golden Kamui's coming back for a fourth season, which yes. Bungo Stray Dogs, something that I haven't given enough chance yet to get into. I've watched a couple episodes and I didn't mind what I saw, but I haven't gone into it big.
Yeah, hasn't piqued my interest yet.
Overlord is coming back for a fourth season and a movie. There's an anime about a bike. Yeah.
Why not?
Yowamushi Pedal is coming back for a fifth season.
Cycling's popular, man.
My God. Attack on Titan is coming back for its final season. Again.
Its final season? Its final season part 3.
Yeah.
It's their way of doing three extra seasons for no real reason.
I do think that this will be the final. Just by the key visual that they've put on the poster. And for me, having read all of the manga, I'm confident to say that this will be the final season. Maybe. Fairy Tail still going, which I thought it had ended, but apparently it's not.
I thought that got canned, yeah.
I don't even know anymore. My partner really likes Fairy Tail. I don't mind Fairy Tail. I know it's not the greatest, but it's fun. It's fun shonen.
Yeah.
Now this is where we get into the territory of
maybe
I'm skeptical because I don't think it has enough to really do an anime, but Kaiju number 8. Would love to see it animated. But I don't know. I think it's a bit too early.
There's enough for a first season, but you're right, it's too early. I haven't seen any visuals or footage, and considering its popularity, they would have been shoving that in your face all over the place. So I don't think there's anything there yet.
Because if we look at the next one that I'm about to say, Hell's Paradise, and one that I'm going to skip ahead to because I know it's in this list, Chainsaw Man. Like those two, they've been pushing pretty hard. But
for like a year almost.
Yes, Kaiju number 8.
Driving.
Nothing.
No.
So
no.
I'm very skeptical on that one. Would love to see it though. Oh my God.
As long as they take their time and they do it properly, I would also love to see it.
Yeah. Interested in this one only because of the art and the title. Insomniacs After School.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah. The Blue Orchestra is getting a new not a new, it's new. It's just getting a new series. It is a new series. Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible. Wait.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that. That is going through. I don't know if it'll be this season though.
Yeah,
because I only just heard recently that it was going.
I think we're into that stage where we're in like 2023 announcements.
Yeah.
Okay. My stepmom's daughter is my ex, which kind of sounds like it is a anime of culture, not necessarily an anime.
I'll jump on board.
There's a new Netflix anime series coming that looks kind of spoopy, called Exception, which I don't know, it looks very scratchy. It could be a horror thriller, I'm not really sure. We'll see. Ninja Kamui, not sure what that is, but it looks cool from the little key visual. A lot of these I've never heard of. Ragnar Crimson is getting a series. Cyberpunk is finally coming out with its anime, which I'm probably more excited for that than I was for the next gen update for the game, because like the world and everything that they built, really cool, and it being a focus point for an animated series, very much so behind that.
Yeah.
Mato Seihai no Slave is getting a series. Now, I am excited to see how this next one comes, because we had a Junji Ito collection anime that was mixed depending on what you were watching.
Mm-hmm.
However, this is going to be fully focused on Uzumaki. So I'm kind of behind that.
They can't screw that up. Surely enough. The content is too rich.
Yeah.
It's going to screw with some people.
Ayakashi Triangle is getting its adaptation.
Another the anime of much culture.
One that we're probably going to have to talk about next time is a new installment in the Code Geass franchise.
Yeah, I did see that there.
So it's Code Geass Z of the Recapture. Now, we were going to talk about the original Code Geass today, but we've run out of time.
Very much. I think we've overly run out of time now.
Yeah, Kieran's not going to be happy, but
no.
yeah. When he's not in the back room watching us,
oh, look, if people have stuck around for this long, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
We've been, there's been just so much stuff happen this past 2 weeks. It's hard to cram into a smaller space.
Another new one, Call of the Night, kind of looks like it could be in the similar vein to maybe another Delinquent series, or maybe something like Durarara, with like a urban supernatural setting. No idea. Not a clue.
Interesting. That'd be interesting.
Oh no.
You've lost
what
it.
happened? I did.
That's a sign. That's a sign. We should cap it off.
No, I found it again. Not bad.
God dang.
Spriggan's coming, getting a series.
Yes. Man, that movie.
Sorry, talk about Spriggan, because I don't know anything about Spriggan.
Oh, don't you?
No.
The
quick,
film was a very, very small recap of the manga series. Yeah, they cut it back quite heavily. It's basically about a small armed forces of special peoples, in the sense of they're very reinforced, very strong, that sort of stuff, that protect the planet from people trying to extract ancient technologies to take over the world, and in this case, Noah's Ark. So it follows a Spriggan who tries to stop a special forces organization who tries to dig up the Noah's Ark to reset the world, because that's what the Ark was originally designed to do. But
it kind of sounds like almost like a Indiana Jones movie on crack, almost.
The action in this is almost unrivaled. It's seriously, I've watched so much action-based anime over the years. This thing is Akira level detail and operation in the animation. It is top tier, 100%. One of the most beautifully animated films. And
see
what
happens
is phenomenal.
On whether or not it's a continuation, or if it's a retelling of the movie, but stretched out.
I would say that they're going back to the source material, because the movie was so extrapolated from the source material that I don't know how much of it was actually, besides the main characters and the general storyline, how much of it was actually in there.
All right, moving on. So very briefly, this one I'm really excited for, only because I've heard a few people talking about it online. and it's the manga has been on my to read list for a while now, and I just haven't gotten around to it for no other reason because just I haven't. Dead Demons Destruction is getting an anime adaptation, and my dude, it looks so cool. I am so excited for this one. And yes, that is the title with the in there as well. Shaman King. I'm not sure if this is a continuation or it's considered a new series. Shaman King Flower, but that's getting its something new. Four Knights of the Apocalypse is getting an adaptation. Just from the key visual that they've put up, it kind of looks very similar to. Oh, that's why I just. Apparently, it's in the same universe as Seven Deadly Sins.
Oh, okay.
I was about to say it looks very similar too, and apparently that's why. The one that we've already talked about, Chainsaw Man. Oh, and a new a remake of a classic, Urusei Yatsura. Oh my god, I butchered that. Yatsura.
Yatsura.
It's the I think it's a Rumiko Takahashi.
Oh yeah.
Series. It's the one that has the girl in like the tiger bikini and thigh highs.
Yeah.
You know the one?
Yeah, I know the one.
yeah, cool.
Yeah, those visuals have been running over the internet for many years.
We're getting another remake of a series called Akuma-kun. Another remake of another one called Bastard Heavy Metal Dark Fantasy, which I'm kind of all for just with that title alone.
Yeah, Bastard's quite a popular title. A little bit reminiscent of
the next one. I am already expecting a very mixed reception to, because our favorite pedophile is getting a new project. Rurouni Kenshin is coming back, and I mean, again, mixed feelings there, even just with myself, because I watched Rurouni Kenshin when I was younger. I really enjoyed it. Loved the Samurai Edo setting, but then the massive conviction and seizing of the computer hardware and just that whole mess was kind of really gross.
Hate the man, not the manga.
Man, there's a fine line. Like, it's that argument of like separating art from artist. It comes down to a personal thing, and I don't know where I sit, unfortunately. When looking back, just being very quick on this, looking back on Rurouni Kenshin after hearing that news, again, not sure if it's like hindsight or better context, but you can kind of see some of that bleeding into the story. Just like the main characters, like, admittedly drawn looking quite young, but he's like in his 30s, maybe even older. I can't remember, but the love interest was like 16, maybe younger. And I know it's a period piece, but after, anyway. I think everyone kind of understands what I'm getting at there, but it's weird, and kind of there's a lot of grooming comparisons to be made, and moving on. The Quintessential Quintuplets is getting a movie.
Why?
Teasing, I don't know. Teasing Master Tagaki-san is getting a movie. The next movie looks really cool. Know nothing about it, but Suzume no Tojimari looks so cool. Chimera, there's a movie coming out for that. Gridman X oh man, I can never remember how to pronounce this. Dynazamon, Dynazanon, is
Yeah.
getting a movie. I think it's because there's two different series set in the same universe, right? And then they're getting
Yeah.
a crossover
Yeah,
movie.
there's SSSS.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
It,
then
it really looks like
Dinah's on. Yeah, I think it's yeah, I can't.
this looks like Power Rangers, the anime, man. It
Yeah.
looks very extra, but I'd be
Well,
behind it.
you know, Trigger's behind it, so they'll
Yeah.
make something special of it.
Odd Taxi's getting a movie, which is kind of cool.
I still haven't jumped on board with that yet. But
No, neither have
will.
I, and I really want to get behind it. The Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime is getting a movie. Slam Dunk is getting a movie.
Ooh, that's back.
That's a like big old classic.
Yeah.
One that again we've already talked about today. One Piece film Red. There's a new Dragon Ball Super movie coming out.
Oh yeah, that thing looks like rubbish.
I
It's
don't know if
full 3D.
ew, that's weird.
Yeah, yeah.
I just don't know if I care about Dragon Ball anymore. I'm
know.
sorry,
I think
but
it is my junk food. Like
Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, yes, but and the two like the Resurrection of F and the other movie that I can't remember the title of.
There's like 30 movies.
Well, no, the two movies that they turned into Super. Like
Yeah.
I really enjoyed those movies. I think it should have stopped at those movies. But
No,
anyway.
dollars.
Yeah, well. Black Clover's getting a movie. Bleach is coming back its final arc. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stone Ocean's getting a second season. Again, surprising nobody. I'm sorry, I just saw the top comment for this next one. Something that we also talked about earlier when we were talking about things coming back, Konosuba. I'm not sure if this is a spin-off or a continuation of the movie focusing around Megami, but Konosuba, an explosion on this wonderful world. And the top comment is rated E for explosions, which is the best. And finally, we've got the biggest one that made me skeptical about this later half of the list, Rick and Morty, the anime.
I don't know. I think that could definitely be a thing.
It definitely could be, but it's very much so made me skeptical of a lot of like the ones that are kind of TBA'd and new series and whatnot. But that kind of wraps up most of the news. I don't know if we missed anything, but I
guaranteed
we're gonna get roasted by our supervisor, I guess you would call him. He told us to make the videos about an hour long, and now we did that last week, and then also last fortnight, and then we've gone almost 2 hours. So with that, we're gonna wrap up. Thank you all for sticking with us. We'll catch you again in 2 weeks. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the little notification bell on YouTube. Subscribe to us on Twitch if that's where you're watching us, or on Facebook. Just follow the Facebook pages, Half Turn Productions, and we'll see you on the 22nd.
22nd
at 8 p.m. EST, and we look forward to seeing you guys then and having a bit more conversations about all the manga news and anime news that's coming.
Anime news.
So I've been Brad. He's been
and
Logan.
I've been Logan.
And we've been Read This Way.